right, everyone. Good afternoon. I see some of y'all are back from the first session. Welcome back. My name is Vickie. I'm the Vice President and Director of Education and Training. I've been a travel agent for 2.5 years, and I'm excited that all of you have made time to be here today. I know it's a vacation holiday, but we're working. So let's go ahead and start answering your questions, and let's get started. Jim, B Flood, Jonathan, welcome back. Kimberly, Natasha, what questions do y'all have?
Is this only related to groups, or can I ask a CRM question?
You can ask anything. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm almost to the point, this is my third month. I'm almost to the point where I feel like I need to get a CRM system going so I can handle the business. Hopefully, I'm gonna got a little marketing push going on this fall, going to some vendor fairs and things. Um, so, and I've just been looking around online, looking at YouTube videos for Travelify and for Travel Joy. Um, I just want somebody's opinion on if they've used one or the other, whether they like it, is it worth it? Because for not earning any money yet, it costs it costs me quite a bit until I get some
Yes,
earnings coming in.
absolutely. So, in regard to the CRM, I use Travify, and yes, it is pricey, but I do have all the elements that I need for my clients. However, the CRM for Cornerstone is you can use the free version, and that's very helpful to keep your business. But of all bookings for Cornerstone, you do need to put into the Cornerstone test CRM so we
Right.
can monitor the sales. But Travify has a nice one. It is pricey. I haven't tried the other ones. I've always kind of stuck with Travify.
Mhm.
It's I'm really happy with it. Maybe some other people. Natasha, I'm not sure what you use. I worked with Natasha for several times, but does anyone else have another one that they use that they're happy with? But I would vouch for Travify. They have
Okay.
it's really I like it. It has a lot of features. I haven't even used all the features, but I should because as much as they charge. But it's an annual fee, so
Right.
and I understand, that you're just starting out. It does get pricey. There's Canva
Right.
that I pay for, and Travify, and then I do purchase my second phone line for my
Hmm.
business. But yes, I do understand the expense. So yeah, maybe someone. Oh, Natasha uses Travify too.
Travify. Okay. Well, that's good because I was looking at both. I've spent many hours looking at the things, trying to see which one. I felt like, other than, I mean, I know that I knew I need more help with itinerary because right now I'm literally putting itineraries together manually. I just open up a document and I find this and find that and send an email with a bunch of links on it. And it looks okay for the couple of people I'm doing it for right now, which is, just friends and family and coworkers, that kind of thing. But eventually I'm going to do business with somebody I don't have a prior relationship with, and I probably need to look a little bit more professional. And
Well,
and
and
I have used tests. I use tests for all, I know that for the commissions. But I didn't think tests had some of the other. I'm really looking because I don't really understand what I need to do with credit card authorizations on that.
sure.
That's really where I kind of was like I want some more professional to show me how that works.
Yeah, so Natasha just wrote that Turn is good too. A lot of people do use
Okay.
Turn.
Okay, I'll
As
take a
far
look at that one.
Yeah, so as far as Travify, I love the itinerary options, and they do have a free period that you can try them out. So,
Yeah, they've got a 10-day trial, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
but their support system, I needed training on things that I wasn't understanding, and their
Oh,
support staff, they schedule pretty quickly, like the next, if not that day, the next day, where they'll
okay.
sit there and they'll help you navigate. But I love it because when you have an itinerary, say like I use Greece a lot with my clients. So I'm able to have these different itineraries and save them to my library. And it helps because when the next client comes along and wants to do like the similar cruise or the same cruise from
Right.
this year, I just pull that up. And of course, I confirm that the cities haven't changed, but it saves a lot of time from building the photos and the information. And it kind of,
Okay.
I can kind of like swap pages back and forth of what I need. And it also has real time on the flights, which I love because when the flight's delayed, I get a notice and then I'm able to contact my client and they get notified too. But they have a chat system that I'm able to chat with my clients while they're on their trip.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good information. Thank you. And I like that Travfy had something with a web domain and something with a mobile app too that I
Yeah,
haven't not super important to me right now, but I'm thinking that would be good for the future.
yeah, and they do have a website, which it's not very interactive. I did kind of play around their website features. Their pictures are beautiful, like the photos are
Yeah.
really pretty,
Yeah.
but they don't have a lot of uh, features that I wanted to interact with my clients. And but it does really well. You know, but I did go to GoDaddy and get my own website and my
Hmm.
email to match, the domain name. So that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
something that I enjoyed, but it's all personal preference. But I
Right.
do I do suggest you just kind of take that 10-day trial and just kind of look around.
Yeah.
And if you have
That's I'm going to do that here probably in another month or so. I think I'm going to
perfect,
do that. And I think when I'm going to test it, I think I'm going to take trips that I've already booked and put them in there and just see what the result is, sending everything to myself first. And if it looks good, then I'll send it to a couple of my
yeah,
clients that already have booked trips. Say,
that's
hey,
very
here's
good.
a new app I'm using. Here's your itinerary. What do you think about it? And just to get some experience with it. So when I get a real job that I will be able to handle it.
Sure, yeah. But let me
Thank
know
you
if
for
you,
this information. This is very
yeah.
helpful.
And just I'm sorry, what is your first name? Instead of calling
Brian,
me Brian,
Brian.
I thought
Yeah.
B flood. I'm giving you
Yeah,
some
that's
answers.
that's a holdover from my first job.
That's okay. I just
So
wanted to call you by a proper name, but
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm
you're,
Brian.
you're, please email me. My corporate email, which is
Uh-huh.
Vickie at cornerstone-travel.com, and I'm
Okay.
happy to answer any questions you might come across when you're going through Travify.
Okay. Thank you, Vickie.
Yeah,
Thank you
you're
very
welcome.
much.
I ISOMC. I don't know what your first name is, but welcome, Debbie. Hello.
Hello.
What can I do for you? Any questions? Any concerns or things that you're not sure about? I'm happy to answer for you. Um,
Vicki, I have a question.
yes. Hi, Debbie.
Hi. So I'm very, very new to this and I am getting into this now because I'm going to be retiring next year and hope to be doing it more full time, but I'm not doing it full time right now because of just my constraints with work. So I decided I have trips coming up, and so I decided to practice on myself
Good.
to try to get used to it. But I had a trip where I just stayed overnight. And it was just one hotel room and I used my TA rates, for that room. Is that something, because I didn't get commission or anything, is that something that I still put into tests because I used TA rates?
Um, was as long as the booking is under Cornerstone and you were an active agent with Cornerstone at the time, everything goes into the test.
Okay, well,
So if it was something you're just practicing, you can put it into test, but you'll have to delete it because it'll affect our sales numbers in tests.
okay, I think I may have gone through I'm trying to remember which portal I went through for the hotel. So if I go through any type of TA portal and use a TA rate, then I do put that into tests.
Only if it's gonna be for your own personal, if it's gonna
Mhm.
be if anything under Cornerstone, put it into tests. Yes, because that's for this our supplier numbers in our sales.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
anything that you book, then put into test because that's for our records. But if it's anything personal or that has been in the past, you weren't an active agent, then please don't put it into CRM. If you do, it's very easy just to delete.
Okay.
So a lot of people do practice and then they'll delete it or they'll put inactive on there. You can filter the kind of trip it is. And so you can do it that way.
Okay. Yeah, it's very confusing to me on when to put it into tests or not, because
Only
like I said, some of the stuff I'm doing is just for myself. So I may not even do commission. I just may just do a TA rate and use that. So,
but if you're using the Cornerstone CLIA, put it into test.
oh,
That's
I'm
how
not.
you remember.
If I use my own CLIA,
Then you don't put it in there.
oh, okay, that's good. That's a good distinction.
Yes.
How do we find out if we or what if a supplier has I guess net rates for something? Because
So
again, I'm practicing on myself, but I want to be able to give myself a good discount as well. But because I have a trip that I'm planning, it's a pretty big one for next year. And it's through Ama Waterways. So it's a big cruise, and I'm doing 2 cabins and of course, like it won't be a fam rate at all. It'll be I'm paying full price or whatever discounts they may have during the time. But I'm just wondering, I know I've seen people talk about net, so I could either do commission for myself, which I may do, or they have net as well.
So many suppliers will give you the net. You can toggle it to be net or commission. You can see that a lot on the cruisers, on the cruise suppliers. So it's just a matter of going through the checkout process, and they can let you know what the net price is
Oh,
and what the
okay.
commission is. Like, sorry, I'm getting a cough. Excuse me. Like for instance, on I believe it's Royal Caribbean, they will give you the net price, and then when you see the commission that's being added, then you'll see the commission added to the total. So say like if you were going to not charge a client that commission for a cabin, then you would put net, and then that way you're kind of granting them that discounted price on the cruise when you only put net price on it, and you're omitting your commission to you.
Okay, and so not all of them do that, I would imagine though, too. So you would only know if you're like when you're booking and if they give you that option.
Well, you can know by the checkout. You can be able to figure that out. But if
Right.
you have a question, please call the supplier because they will let you know if this is the net price and what's the gross price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Vickie,
Yes.
kind of a follow-up to Debbie's question, what she was mentioning about, booking yourself. I also see that I've heard people talk about, and I saw that it's a new supplier. We have that something some supplier there.
Price agency,
No, it wasn't Price Agency. It's something ability,
profitability.
profitability, that or something like that. Yeah,
Yes.
and I haven't registered for it, but could you talk about that for just a second? Because I wasn't quite I didn't quite understand what it is they offered.
Let me check for you because I am going to look as well.
Okay.
That one I had it at the other host agency that I was at, and I haven't registered for them yet. But
Okay.
profitability is going to be pretty much on the same lines of I believe it's hotel. Don't quote me.
Right.
Let me see if it's on here.
I'm gonna go look at suppliers right now.
Yeah, I'm in the suppliers module, or I can just look in the. You can Google it too. Yeah, they're not on
Yeah.
here.
I thought what did I see? What am I thinking of? Okay, I guess
Oh, we have
is it
Rail
my
Europe
mind?
now. Yeah, we have
Oh,
Rail
what?
Europe. The girls are working on that. So Rail Europe has been added, and so is Key.com. Wow, we have a lot of them that's been added. So let's just Google.
Profit. Yeah, here it is. Profit Agility. Profit Agility. That's what it's called.
Is it in the?
It's it's in the hotels, resorts, villas. It's like all towards the
It's
bottom,
good.
like the third from the bottom, profit agility. So
Oh, gotcha.
when I
Yep.
Google searched it, and I thought I heard somebody talking about this on another group, it was an ability to adjust the commission to either zero or and set a fee. I mean, it gave a lot of adjustability. And I thought I heard another group leader talking about that they did it for when they were doing their own travel. So they would set the commission to zero so they didn't have to pay
And
taxes
the
on
growth.
their own
Yes.
travel,
Yes, that is
on their
correct.
earnings.
Yep.
Okay. And that would probably address something what Debbie was talking about, or of,
Yes.
trying to
So
do
it's
the
what
net.
you are correct. Yes. So it's a travel agent kind of assistance website that you can take out those extra expenses and just focus on the profit instead of paying for all those
Right.
extra
So
fees.
in other words, it gives you ultimate ability, whether you want to collect a 25% um, commission or a 0% commission or something in between.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And I need to take the training on this because I was curious when I saw it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that we're going to offer now, and we just got them approved for Cornerstone.
Right, because they were a new one that just popped up there. I
Mhm.
haven't done it myself either.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were at my other host agency, gosh, years ago, and so I didn't use them too much, but yeah, it's come back into my queue, so I need to like find out how to use this. But yeah,
I
I
I
would
think
suggest to look at it.
I think since all of us are travel junkies, that we probably want to
Yes,
know something about that one
absolutely.
for our own use. Okay,
Yes.
I'll shut up now.
No, no, please, no. Thank you for that because I was on my. We were talking about in the office the other day. And I'm like, oh great, another training I got to do. I got to learn about it. But no, it's gonna be a great tool for travel agents.
I think you have to kind of be a training junkie too to do this.
You do. I mean, gosh, I mean, there's training that I have to do that being with the supplier department. I mean, we're always training on something. And so it becomes a lot after a while, but I just give myself grace because there's only one me and I can't clone myself. But even Amy and I were talking about that it's ongoing training. And especially when suppliers change their website or change their cabin classification, it's just always being on as a travel agent. But what I've learned too is that instead of worrying about all the suppliers, we have over 1,500 suppliers that are really active with Cornerstone. So whenever I have a client that asks for a particular trip or a certain genre or niche, then that's when I will kind of focus on those suppliers that will help me. So I kind of not worry about the whole spectrum. I kind of break it down to whatever trip I'm working on to kind of do that training. And I will do an intense deep dive into those suppliers so that I can know what I'm working with for that client.
Right, and that's what I've done. I've kind of let my clients tell me. Somebody comes to me, like didn't know anything about Royal Caribbean, and I got somebody calling me and they said, I want to go on this cruise. So suddenly I dived into Royal Caribbean world, and now I'm a bachelor of adventure or whatever that is, and
Nice.
but that's kind of, so I just kind of let it lead me where it goes.
Yeah, and that was also I had a client who took a tour with Lima, Peru, with Go Way, and so I hadn't worked with them, and so again I had to like kind of learn about Google search Peru and kind of got all the sites and everything that the client could look at, and then I did the training on the tour, and it was just amazing. So I learned
Yeah.
something new, but yeah, it can be a lot, and people kind of get overwhelmed looking at all the suppliers and the training, but it's just important to keep focused on what you need at that moment.
Yeah.
Train really well, get the training, and then move on to someone else.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Yeah. Natasha is back. Any more questions, Natasha? Some of these people were from our first session, so welcome back.
Other than American Cruise Lines, any other small cruise lines like that in the United States? I have a couple that's done multiple on them and they want something similar.
Yes, there is actually one that I think it's called Pearl Seas that goes from Canada to the upper north. I think it's the Midwest of the United States. Is it Pearl Seas? Let me see. Pearl. It's really a pretty Pearl Seas Cruises. and that's different. It goes through Connecticut and through Canada and all the North states, Great Lakes, and that's really a nice one that was added about 2 months ago. And I haven't trained on this either, but everyone's talked really highly about this one.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, the only reason I did American was this couple likes going on them, and I've booked them 2 on them. And then this week they asked for something different on top of those, and I was like, sure, I'll look around.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it looks really nice, and those ships look really pretty too. So you might get some good feedback with that one with your client. It's called pearlseascruises.com.
Got it. Thank you.
There's Canada, New England, the Great Lakes.
Where do we, what vendor what supplier do we use for that?
Pearlseascruises.com.
Okay.
It's their own
Okay.
company. Yeah.
They're registered with Cornerstone then?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And we're trying to add the suppliers onto the supplier module as we get them. That's like our next thing. We're moving offices right now, so we've kind of given the girls like, move into your office, get situated, and then we're gonna kind of go full force after next week. So y'all might regret seeing all the suppliers that you're gonna have on that page, but it's gonna be informative, so you'll appreciate it at the same time. Has everyone registered for TLN?
No, I haven't. I mean, I'm on TLN, but what do you have to do to register? I see there's a big long list of things you're supposed to do. Could you talk
Yeah,
about that?
it's our consortia. So what's going to do, it gives a national database for travel agents. So when you complete your profile and you do all the requirements, you're able to list all of your client reviews, your own destinations, all the photos, and it gives a nationwide base. So where are you located at, Brian?
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix. So, like, say somebody was in Phoenix and wanted to have a travel agent that's close by, they could actually go to TLN and look under Phoenix, and all the travel agents will pull up, and then they can choose. That's a good way to get recognition nationwide. TLN.
I've heard a number of questions here in these groups about that, and it seems like a lot of people have trouble getting the thing to complete.
Well, no, I mean, I approve everyone, so I have to
Okay.
wait for TLN. That's their website. So when they see that the agent has completed a certain phase or a field that's required, then they send me the name that's time for it to approve, and then I can approve you. But they do guard. They're very strict on their requirements as far as like destinations and reviews. So it does take some time, but it's a really great website, and it's our consortia. So it'll give you, you'll have TA rates, and then you'll get a group onboard credit, and they have a lot of perks for your clients when you go through TLN.
Okay, so as a newbie, only 3 months in, is that something that should be a priority for me?
It's something you can work on the side when you have time. Like say it's Saturday afternoon,
Okay.
you have nothing to do. Do some training. The training is excellent in TLN.
Okay.
It's another aspect. It's almost like the Cornerstone Travel Academy, but it's all about travel agents, and they're there to protect you and to help you.
Okay.
So
Well, I don't have a lot of experience or a lot of travel experience to talk about on that. That's the thing. I mean,
have you
I'll have
been
to.
to a destination?
Oh yeah. Oh
Then
yeah.
you're going to do just fine.
Okay.
You can be very minimal as long as you complete. It's not as difficult as it sounds.
Okay.
But a lot of people will say, I'm only at 60%. I can't get
Right. I
published.
think I was intimidated by all that. I saw people,
No, don't. It's their way of their metrics of making sure that you're completing all the fields. And so when you email me, you can ask, hey, I'm stuck at 70% or 80. I can go in and say, oh, it's because you need this field, and I can give you those
Okay.
specific details. So, yeah,
So that's all in Agent Universe then under TLN, right?
yes.
Okay. Well, now I know what I'm going to do the rest of the weekend, Vickie. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
If y'all want to look at Jill John's TLN profile, it is spectacular. I mean, I'm blown away by how much she has put on her profile, and all the information. She's had years of being a travel agent, but I'm mentoring from her just how she's done her profile and her whole page, and it's pretty incredible everything you can put on that page and what a person is looking for a travel agent can see in her page. She gets a lot of business through TLN, so it's a really good networking tool.
Okay, I'm gonna email you when I get stuck.
Okay, I'm here. I'm ready.
Vickie, did you say the training for that is it through in the portal of TLN or is it in Cornerstone?
No, it's in TLN. They have their
Okay.
own website. It's
Okay.
Travel Leaders. Hold on, I was in it this morning.
Yeah, I'm registered with them, but I don't think I've done all the training.
Sure. Yeah, the training goes
Yeah.
on. There's a lot of training,
Mhm.
but to do your profile is under Agent Profiler. It's the profile, so they call it Profiler. But you ask for like a photo and your address and your email and a bio, which can be very simple. If you look at Jill Johns, I mean, it's just incredible how she's described herself in her agency. But it's a good tool to go by. But yeah, I would encourage y'all to get registered. And I approve. I probably get about 400 requests every day from our agents of different things. They have Social Pro, they have Snap, which y'all have heard from Snap, Cruise Complete, Agent Profiler. There's a lot on there, and you can even be a elite wedding destination specialist, but you have to have so much in booking sales. So TLN is very strict. I mean, they are very serious about who they're putting on their website. But once you complete everything, it will make you an elite travel agent across the United States.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Do I have to book a lot to stay published? No. Once you're published, you're always published. That was from Kimberly. You're welcome. I know everyone's resting for the Labor Day weekend. All my mentors are on vacation and I'm here working. So it was a good excuse to be able to get back in the groove and train with y'all and to meet y'all. So we have about 30 more minutes and I'm happy to answer anything and everything that y'all have inquiries about. As far as the offices, we're not releasing our new address because we can't have visitors right now due to the build out. There's construction going on. And so most of our agents are working from home because their offices are getting painted or renovated. So, but we're not asking for the agents to come in just because they won't be allowed in. So once we get up and painted and up and going, then y'all can fill out that job form and come by the offices if y'all have a cruise or if you're coming for a convention or if you're in the neighborhood, we'd love to have you there. Hi, Jim. How are you? I see Jim's on here. Jonathan is back. Kimberly, Natasha, and Debbie. Anyone going to ask a question? Or something y'all I can talk about that y'all are curious about?
I'm just really listening in, kind of where Debbie and Brian seem to be is I'm setting up for my retirement, which will be in about 3 years. So I'm taking everything slow and just trying to get as much information as I can. So once I really start to go full time into this, I won't be overwhelmed and I'm just kind of dipping my toes into it. But I've
Awesome.
done, I've gone through and I just finished Princess's training yesterday for Commodore.
Good.
I've gone through, I've gotten my celebrities done and the Bachelor at Royal. So I'm just picking and choosing, and I've cruised most with celebrities, so that was my first choice. It was nice and easy because I was very familiar with them.
Good.
Um, the
Awesome.
the princess training was a little daunting, but there's a lot of information in there, and it's It's really good. One of my next goals, I guess, is get my landing page done and then find out how to build out my own website. So I've got a name, I've got a website. I'm already done through GoDaddy with an email, so I've got
But
that part of it done. So it's just trying to take baby steps.
it's a lot, Jim, and welcome to Cornerstone. You're doing really good to take your time. I went through GoDaddy too for my website and my email. Wix is really easy to navigate. I'm not a tech person, and sometimes when I do get stuck, I yell at Amy to come help me, but it's easy for me to like interchange photos and whatnot. So just take your time and give yourself grace. And this is a great retirement job because you can work from home and set your own schedule and decide if you want to take a trip, you can pick up and go. So we welcome you and good to hear from you.
Thank you.
Hey, Vickie, did you find setting up a separate web page beneficial versus having just a dedicated Facebook page or Instagram page for your thing? Because I'm wavering back and forth if I want to do a web page or not right now, and maybe that's something down the road, but definitely we'll do like a Facebook page or something. But
Yeah, it's all by preference, Debbie, because I do have the website and I do have a Instagram and I have a Facebook. For me, I'm not a fan of Facebook. I mean, I use it because of the Cornerstone mentors and, working with the Cornerstone Facebook page. Instagram, I like because I can schedule it from my the business meta suite, to post on Facebook and Instagram. I guess the only reason I'm using Facebook is because I can put it on Facebook and Instagram, schedule my postings.
Right.
But as far as the website, I do like it. And honestly, I haven't updated my website, which it's just because we're just so busy. But I like that the customers can go in. I have a rock band that I book for, that I do their travel. So I can put them on my website. I have clients that send me pictures of their trips. I can highlight my clients and I can kind of put different promos and stuff on there, which is really fun for me because I kind of get bored and I'll change photos around or change the font or something. But I think a website has given me more business than my Instagram. And I've had a few people that contact me on Instagram, but I find that they're not serious travel inquiries. So they don't actually email me and follow through with an actual destination that I'm asking, for them to provide. But my website, you get more of the serious inquiries, and I feel like the networking is more positive and productive as far as using the website for my agency.
Okay. And I'm sorry if I missed it. I know I was a few minutes late. How long have you been doing travel?
2.5 years. But with my previous job, I traveled around the world. And so that's where I always love travel. And for me to give those different experiences to my clients, I've been there so I can, it kind of fit right into, I love traveling. So how come I'm not doing it myself? So that's why I fell in love with, being a travel agent. So 2.5 years, and I did a deep dive in all my trainings. I was with another host agency before. It was a horrible experience, and I met Amy there. And so when Amy decided to create her own agency, I love what she stood for and how she wanted to protect the agents and support them. I was so excited, and so we knew each other for a couple of years. And so she's like, "Hey, you want to do corporate side?" And I was like, "Yes." And so it's been a really great agency to work for, and I love her faith and how she's positive. And we've gone through a lot of changes in Cornerstone, but she's a really great boss. And for her to see how she's compassionate for the agents, it just goes right along with who I want to work for.
I really appreciate, being new to this, and I traveled a lot as well. And that's why I thought, hey, this would be great for my retirement thing. But the support and training that Cornerstone offers has been fabulous. A little overwhelming with all the training, but it's great. And because, you gotta have the training. I think that's what people think. They think that's just all, hey, let's just book a trip. And
Yeah.
there's just so much into it, because not only is it the travel agent, and it seems like it's just an ongoing thing because things change, it's very fluid. And then the suppliers, there's so many suppliers, and it's like, trying to get all that training done. But, it's been fun. I think if you have a passion for travel, it's really, for me, it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, you have to love what you do to enjoy it. When people say, I've never traveled, I'm like, well, have you been on a plane? No, but I want to be a travel agent. I'm like, you might just want to take a flight and try a vacation on your own and see if you like it, because some people aren't meant to be travel agents. They don't even like to travel. And so it's okay. But, when they say that, they want to try it, we really encourage them to give it a own personal, try themselves, because a lot of times, they'll say, I just don't know if I can manage all the information and be responsible for someone on a flight. And it's true, you have a lot of responsibility as a travel agent, but I love traveling. I mean, and cruising, being in Galveston, I have Galveston Port. So it's like jump on a ship when me and my husband are going on the MSC sailing when they have their inaugural in Galveston in November. So it's just a convenience of driving and get on the ship. And so I love it, but you do have to love what you do to really make it productive and make it mean something. And this is my retirement job. So it's just a great agency. And I like to mentor. I like to be able to help others, because I was once in that position where it's like, where do I start? And so I appreciate the positive feedback of the training, because we revamped this whole training thing. That's the reason Amy brought me in, is because she needed someone that knew about the suppliers and the training and what it took to get agents onboarded. And so we've added so many trainings during the week. And right now we've opened up Fridays, and now we have Saturdays group. And so I'm really trying to, find different trainings that we can accommodate all the agents in their different niches. So feedback from you guys is very important to us, and we want to just really, be available for, you have like just all women traveling, or there's group travel, or, Disney has their adventure travel. That's a very different animal in the travel agency industry. So, we just really want to provide all those different kinds of trainings for y'all.
I know it's hard when a lot of people really said, pick a niche, what is it going to be cruises? Is it going to be all inclusives? And I'm like, I like it all. I can't pick a niche. So I'm just going to be just destination, because I've done all different types of trips, so
That's great. Yeah.
And it's hard though, because of the training, because it's like, okay, I need to know this and I need to know that. I'm not concentrating just on one thing.
Yeah. And, it's a lot too, to think of a niche, but I do the whole kind of training, just cruises and international, because I didn't want to limit myself, because, I did have clients that say, I want to do an international trip, on a tour. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never tried, I didn't even train in that when I started. But then I was like, you know what? Train, like, let's get into it. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it 100%. So I do encourage everyone to not just limit yourself on a certain niche, but some people just like cruises, or some people just like US travel, and that's okay. Whatever fits that person's, itinerary, then we help them with that.
Yeah. And I've always been the vacation planner in our family. So I
Yeah.
think it wasn't a big surprise when I said we're going to do this.
That's awesome. And if you go to our live calendar, we've really tried to keep implementing new changes. But if you go back to as far as back as January, you'll see different supplier trainings. Like I have, we did trainings on Princess, but from the mentor side. It's not the supplier side. So in blue, there's Wavemaker, which is just a supplier doing their webinars. And it's a really great concept, because the BDM can, meet the agents, on these live Zoom calls, and they get their contact information. And I think that's worked really well. But our mentors wanted to take those trainings a step farther. And so Johnny and Jill Johns have done some really intensive training on Princess and Allianz. And so we're really just trying to give our perspective of the training to help you guys out, because it's a lot. But I like to do more of the organization administrative side of the training, because that's the heartbeat of the whole agency, is your bookkeeping and your organization, and how you're keeping all your clients in order. And, so I like that part of it, but our mentors are diverse in all kinds of stuff. So I think it's working out pretty good.
Can you talk a little bit about the wave makers? My understanding is that's something that you want to start at the beginning of the year because it's a calendar year training, right? Where you have to complete so many seminars and classes throughout the year, and then you have to email the ones that you've completed so that they can keep track of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Wavemakers was created by Amy, which when she left the other host agency, she wanted to have something that rewarded the agents for all their efforts. And it also provided them an extensive training to the suppliers and doing ship inspections and hotel inspections. So it is a tier-based college prep course, so to speak, where every quarter there are requirements. She is changing some things for next year, which is all good changes. But so if you start in January, it's not so overwhelming. A lot of people started in June and they caught up. And so you can only graduate when you are present at the convention every year. We have it in November. So, but a lot of people just want to do it, even though they weren't coming to convention, because they wanted to have that structure of, studying all of these suppliers and not having that stress of finishing by November. So it's really just a great course to go through. But what Amy has done is when you graduate in November, you get a trophy, and then you're part of this elite program of Cornerstone where you're going to be the Wave Makers. It's going to be like a Wave Makers elite group where you'll be invited personally to fam trips or to special regional meetings. Like she's trying to do one, I think it's Colorado and maybe Florida, where just those agents can come and to do like a BRB, vacation home where we all, kind of get together. We'll do extensive trainings at a hotel. She just has like this huge plan for the agents. But when you graduate, we pay your CLIA card and your ASTA card for the following year as long as you're active. You'll get those invitations for fam trips. You receive a trophy and then a pin. And then every year that you graduate, it gives you into a higher tier. So she's made it pretty incredible it's almost like a college program where, by the time you get your master's, you'll be in an elite group where you'll be offered like mentor, positions in the corporate side and just private invitations to different ship inspections and to things that she knows about. Like she's going to the Formula One races next month with MSC. So whenever she has those special agents and wave makers, you'll get a personal invitation to go with her, and you can enjoy those perks of Cornerstone.
So it's every year then. So it's an ongoing thing. That's
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, I'm doing it too, and I'm trying to graduate because I have to be at the convention. I'm trying to, well, gosh, if I have to be there, then I'm going to at least try and graduate. So I'm doing the courses, and I started in May, and so I have some catching up to do. But the great thing is that even though you start late, you can actually catch up really easy because it's just training. So once you do your training as supplier and it's completed, and say you start the wave makers, like for Princess, once you've done that, you can apply that to your wave makers credentials. And so I keep track of everyone's credentials every year. And so when you fulfill those, and then once you complete it, you come to convention and you can graduate.
So like if you were to start next year, you would start with the first year that was offered those classes, right? And
Well, every year. Well, so yeah, if you want to start next January, it's the same program. She's changing a few things, but the concept is the same. So it's all the tiers that will be required. And then when convention opens up, you do need to be there at convention to receive your trophy. And that's how you'll be officially graduated. But every year you'll do the program, but it'll be different for each person that's graduated or a different tier. And but different things will be added to your graduation.
Got it. And I'm so jealous of people who live in like a port city. It's like, cause you can just jump on, go to the ship or whatever. I'm in California, but I'm in Northern California. So I guess I can go to San Francisco, but
yeah, you're far from there. Yeah. And this year is really exciting for Galveston. So we're gaining MSC and Royal Caribbean and Norwegian into Galveston. We're losing Princess, but we're gaining Disney, and we have Carnival. So it's going to be pretty incredible to have 8 to 10 ships in port in one day. And so that's driving a huge renovation in Galveston to where they are renovating it to almost like a Miami port, even though we're very industrial, which most ports are industrial. But to see the changes going on when we go to work, it's getting exciting. And so November, MSC is kicking off their inaugural ship, their ship itinerary. So it's growing a lot. And so I live an hour from Galveston, but I drive to work, and to see that I can just jump on a ship. I mean, my husband and I, we're Royal Caribbean. That's my go-to. But I'm slowly getting into MSC because this ship is just amazing and it's beautiful. And I'm just in love with it. So me and my husband get to try that out. So I'm excited to see what they offer.
Yeah, that's exciting. I did read about that Galveston expansion, and that's just, exciting. I'm also excited that Virgin's bringing ships to the West Coast.
Yes, Virgin is coming up pretty. I mean, they are getting pretty popular, and that's a whole different class of cruise. If you've heard about them, it's adults only, and so the staff gets very interactive with the sailing and the sailors, and the shows are spectacular, but it's all adult oriented. Of course, Richard Branson is the owner of that, so the colors, the whole theme of the boat is very eclectic, and it's gorgeous, but I've heard some really good things about Virgin. I don't know about the parking in Galveston. I'm not too excited how it is right now. So to bring 10,000 people in 1 week into Galveston, it's going to be great for the economy, but the patience will have to be found with everyone driving into Galveston.
I would imagine with that expansion that they're going to be adding parking garages or parking or something as well.
Yeah, Royal has already built a 3,000 car garage, and so everyone's building up. So there's going to be all kinds of garages being built, which is good. I mean, because Galveston, I mean, with our hurricanes and stuff, they're trying to do sustainable buildings, so it can take our elements of our storms. So it's a lot to be thought of when they're making it Miami, resembled, like a twin port they have, but no one can copy Miami. I mean, Miami's just a different element. Their waters are prettier. We have brackish water. It's not like, unless you go 20 miles out, then you'll see clear blue water. But that concept is going to be really, really good. Anything else?
Vickie, if nobody else has the other questions, I have another TLN profile question, if I can.
Of course, go ahead.
So I'm sitting here working on this TLN profile, and it wants, to talk about supplier partners. And so I just click the ones where the training I've taken and stuff that, in the past that I've either been on that supplier. I mean, is that what, I mean, like, what do I put like for hotels that, hey, I've taken their training, I'm in their travel agent group, that kind of thing. Does it want you to make a comment about each one?
Right. So they want to, what you're trying to do is they're helping build this profile that whoever's going to call you, they want to see your experience with each supplier. So if you're booking, if you've booked in the past on a personal basis, that works just as well, because I've put a lot of my personal preferences on my agent profiler. So, and all the suppliers that you're working with and that you've trained with, put everything that because that just adds to your profile and your status.
Okay.
Yeah, and anything that you have, you've traveled yourself and you have experiences, or you have photos that you want to share with mine. I'm going to put clients and their reviews of how they thought of my agency and the little perks that I did. All that stuff I'm going to include, because I want to show other people what I offer for the clients.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. And when you're going through all these TLN fields, if you try and save and it doesn't save and you see a red field, it's because they're telling you it needs to be answered. That's why they're very thorough with that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So any red, it's going to stop you from going forward.
It's quite extensive. I can see.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, like, make sure you have time because
Yeah.
I always take an hour and just kind of do one section at a time, or because it's a lot, and then with the training, it's really good. I mean, you can't go wrong with their training and, their profile, but
Yeah.
for where you are right now, don't let that take the place of what you're trying to do for your own agency.
I
Okay.
imagine that's something that you can update, as you have more training and more, trips and stuff too.
Absolutely. If you guys, like I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned her this session or the last one, Jill Johns, who's our mentor, her profile is incredible. Like, I took my breath away of how much she has worked on her profile, and it's really impressive. So if y'all want like some kind of template to look and see what it looks like, I would go to her profile and look at it, and you'll get an idea.
And we're able to see her profile?
Yes. She's published. Okay. Anything that's published, you can see any agent that's published.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And that it's a good template just to go by of what you can work for on your profile.
I have a question.
Yeah. Hi, Kristen.
Hi. I am very new at booking people, and I am booking a friend, and they have 9 people, and it has taken me 2 weeks for them to narrow down the cruise. They have wish-washed from California to Florida, back to California, maybe going to Colorado for a ski trip, then this, then that. I'm like, okay. Well, I finally got them narrowed down to a cruise, and their last travel agent booked all their flights too. Now, do you just give them, because I gave them times and I gave them prices, and they're like, okay, well, what is it out of this airport? What is it out of that airport? How much is the baggage fees? And they're not just accepting what I'm giving them. They're wanting me to look all over like 3 different airports to figure it out. How can, as a person working with a friend, explain to them I don't get paid for flights? Isn't it a lot easier for them to book the flight?
Well, okay. So groups are difficult. Last year I did have a group that was 42 people on Carnival, and it was a lot of people. But what made it easier for me was that I had a lead guest who took care of the family names, and then I went to each individual family and got their preference of how they wanted to get to Miami. So
Okay.
there is a lot of moving parts, Kristen, and you have to you are in charge of this grouping. You have to be the one that you're the leader to get them on board.
Okay.
Now, as far as, I don't like the cruise supplier.
That's me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? If I've worked with cruise suppliers with flights, I hated them. Like, they are awful with guests because when they book their flight, the cruise supplier will give them the flight. They may get 2 or 3 options, but they don't budge. And once that guest approves that flight, they don't change it unless you want to pay a lot of money to change that flight.
Oh.
So I have always encouraged my guests to let me look for their flights, or they look for the flights, and some of them do book on their own, and some of them they say, can you please look for me, and I'll let you know what I want to pay. And so
I'm looking on Expedia, tap for them, and Expedia doesn't let me go over 6 people without calling.
Mhm.
And that's fine, but my issue is like we're in Michigan, and he wanted to go out of Grand Rapids originally. So I look up flights out of Grand Rapids, and then he's like, okay, what about Chicago and Detroit? And then he wants me to compare the 2 prices out of Chicago and Detroit. And then, the times aren't right, and this is not right. And wouldn't it be a lot easier for me to say, well, why don't you look at it? But
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
yeah, so let me just what you can do is the easiest way that I've worked with groups is to, once you know how many people are going and it's how many families, you want to break it down to each family.
It's
Especially
all one family. It's
so
with significant others and a friend. So it's a
Okay.
family of 6 with 3 extra people.
Okay, so you need to decide who are those lead guests going to be to make the decision for their couple or their family. And
And
once
that's the problem, is he's the one that's asking me all these separate different questions of the lead person, wanting me to give quotes on 3 different airports and different times and all that kind of stuff. So
if you wanted to, Kristen, you can get a commission if you work the flight and make it as a package on a transport. Say like for VAX, price agencies, you can get that done and be able to add your service charge to charge for those flights for your service.
okay.
Yeah, I love Expedia because they're great for one ways, or they're great for a lot of selections and flights, and they're easy to navigate to figure out which the times and, morning, evening, or night. But I always use VAX or price agencies if I want to add my service charge. And I provide a transport, which sells really easy for your client, because if you fly them in somewhere and then say, hey, we can get your transport from here to your hotel, and you don't want to have your clients fly in the day of a cruise. You always want them to come in the day before. One, because,
Yes, they're flying in 2 days before because they have family in California, so they're going to end up visiting with them. So that's good. And they are renting a 15-passenger van. So, I mean, and that's good.
That's good. So yeah, so when you put the flight with the car rental, that makes it a package, so you can be able to get a little bit of commission. But I would try VAX and price agencies, because you're going to get some really good options, and then you can add your service charge.
Okay. And
Yeah,
how much of a service charge would you charge? I mean, they are like really good friends, and they're being very nice of letting me book this all. So I don't really want to take advantage of them, I guess.
Okay, well, Kristen, remember that this is your job, and they're taking advantage of you getting all the information. And
Okay.
that's what we do as travel agents. We have to do the research for them, and that's our job. And so for us to be able, we know that how much time we have. We know it's taking from our personal time to help them. But in VAX and price agencies, that service charge gets blended into the price, where they will never know that you've charged a service charge for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why these are great suppliers to use.
Okay.
Now, as far as, work with one airport, see if they like that, and then if they don't like those, then you go to the next airport. Save
Okay.
all the information that you have given them, because if they go back to the first airport, you have that information already. And always tell them that when you give them those flights, that the price is not guaranteed until paid in full. That is a disclosure that protects you, because if you end up using that first airport quote, and say by the time they come around to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get the flights, and it's gone up, then you can say this price was quoted, 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. And that's what happens when you don't pay them in full when I quote you the price.
Okay.
Okay. So
Perfect.
I know it's a lot, especially with flights. And I get discouraged when I have a lot of flights, but when you use those suppliers, it gives you a little bit of hope that at least you can get paid for some of your time to work with those flights.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I didn't realize that about price agency and VAX. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That helps.
Price agencies is Mexican based, so you're going to have that military time on their format. But you can find some really good flights on there, and if you quote them a morning and maybe a afternoon flight, and let them know what time of day do you want to fly, morning or afternoon. Get those details done first, because just explain to them, if you look at all the prices, it's going to be impossible to get them all to him. He needs to decide what time of day.
Well, he tells me one thing, like he wants to do morning flight, and then he sees the price and it's like, oh, well, taking an afternoon flight, would that be cheaper? And I mean, he always wants the cheaper rate, which I totally understand. but it's just like he wants like originally Grand Rapids, which is but now he's driving further away, so it's cheaper. And so it's a lot of research, I guess.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
to
perfect.
save you the trouble, what I always do with my clients is when I give them flights, I always do a morning and an afternoon right off the bat, because that way I have that already information for them. Where if they say, well, "What does afternoon look like?" Here it is. I've given them that morning and afternoon. I want to get all those. I want to get all the information to my clients that they need and avoid all those go back and look, go back and look.
Okay.
I'm trying to prepare myself. Also, whatever it's with flights, do they want first class? Do they want economy? Do they want business? Get all those things done. That way, you know what their expectations are and get a budget, because that's
Okay.
going to determine a lot of what you're going to spend on those flights. And
Right.
and then when you save that information, so when you go back, you already have at least an idea of what that airport's going to look like. And yeah, someone that lives around a lot of airports, you are going to have that, and maybe kind of beat them at it, and just kind of start looking at the other airports and be ready for them. That way, when you can send it all to them and they have all these options, and it kind of takes the back and forth out of the equation.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And, email me, Kristen, if you have any questions about anything that comes up, because I know group travel can be really bad, but, also if people if they're trying to leave from different times or different locations, that's how you can break it up in the reservation instead of trying to think of it as a group on a flight. Because the group flights, you might have to call the airlines, but if you keep it, within like certain families or couples, then you can treat it as a single reservation, but get everyone to the same point of origin.
Well, I did notice when I was looking up on Expedia, when I put in 6 people, it gave me one price, but if I put in 3 people, it gives me a lower price.
Well, it's just because it's 3 people, but if you do
No, it's per person. It was a lower price. It was like a $60 per person difference with putting in 6 people compared to 3 people.
well, and also when you do the 6 people, just tell them price per person, because it does break it down for you what each person's going to be charged.
Right. But it was still per person. It was like $6.90 per person when it was 6 people, but it was like $6.30 per person when it was 3 people.
It's probably the taxes and fees that are being charged for that smaller group that's going to come out smaller.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably where it comes from, or the airport fees, or whatever their fees are. But that's probably what it is. But the bigger the group, the more it's going to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if they want to decrease that amount, then maybe they can split up the groups if that's going to help them.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you
Let
so
me
much.
know. Yeah, let me know if you have any more problems with that.
I for sure will. Thank you.
Hey, Kristen,
Yes.
check and see if they have like an airline credit card or something as well, because, a lot of times if you have an airline credit card, you get free bags, and bag charges can be a lot. It can be $35, $40, $50 a person for checked bag.
Yes, I've tried to get them to do credit cards, but they will not. It's only debit card only.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh,
I
gosh.
know.
Wow.
It's been a lot of fun
That's
because
crazy.
I'm like, I could get you every we have a Chase preferred card and it has amazing points on it, and I can get flights and all that kind of stuff for cheaper than, and it would save them a ton of money. And he has a business. So putting money on that card, he'd have so much free travel, but he won't listen to me.
Well,
Oh,
all you can do is provide the goodies. If they want
Right,
to take
right.
it, that's on them.
Well, and on this thing too, they want me to book their beverage package and their Wi-Fi package. And I've never done with Carnival before. I've always gone on Royal, so I know exactly where Royal stuff is. But then I'm like back and forth, like, okay, which Wi-Fi package do you want? Which beverage package do you want? And I always thought on the app that they can just put it in and order it themselves. But
Mhm.
their last travel agent did everything for them, and so that's what they're wanting me to do too.
So you can even call the supplier and have the customer service say they want this, and just put the highest package on there.
Okay.
just book it, and if they have no preference, or they say just the most, unlimited, coverage, then get that confirmation from them, put it in an email where you have confirmation that's what they want, and then just go to Carnival and say, for this customer, they want the Wi-Fi, for this one, they want the beverage package, or they want, the specialty dining. Have the customer has to help you with what they want, and then you can just call the customer service, and they'll put that to that certain account.
Okay. But it is on their website. I can add that to their
Well,
reservation.
you won't be able to. Well, you wouldn't be able to, but you'll on Norwegian you can, but on some of those cruise suppliers you have to call them and have them added.
Oh, because I called them and it's under my cruise manager
Yeah, right.
on
But
Carnival.
if you can do it, then do it. But if you need help, then call them, because they can apply it for you.
Okay. Okay, because I asked them when I hit, because Carnival, you have to book everything separately. Unlike Royal, you could put like 4 rooms under a reservation. Well, on Carnival, everything has to be separate. So I had to call them to help me book the 4 rooms together.
Well, yeah, they'll help you put it together. If
Right.
it's less than 8 cabins, right? But the
Right.
customer service will help you with what you need. If you tell me you need help, then they're going to help you.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't feel like you're doing this all by yourself. And
Okay.
as far as the customer, once their app opens, they can add all that stuff, but they need to add it before they depart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost feel like going over to their house and asking them to give me their phone, and I'll just do it for them.
Well,
But
Kristen, what I mentioned to you and I did the first training today, is I have a Zoom call with my groups, and I make sure that the lead guest is on there, and they have to answer those specific questions for me, because I get all my information first, and then I will work on their reservation, because it's a lot when you have to go to each individual person and get their preferences. And if they don't call you back, or they don't respond to your emails, just tell them, you want me to be your travel agent. You have to get on the Zoom call with me, so we can, get your reservation completed. And I've
Okay.
never had trouble, but if they want the help, then they need to help you too, by showing up and do their part.
Yeah. So, well, it's perfect. It's one of my closest friends, so we'll see how this all goes. I've never done it before, and
It'll be
they
great.
travel differently than I do, so we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes.
No, not to worry.
Well,
All right,
thank you
guys.
so much.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions before we log off?
Nope.
No, I appreciate all of you guys for being here. Jim, Brian, Jonathan, Kimberly, Debbie, and Kristen, I really appreciate your time today. If you have any questions, please email me at vickie@cornerstone-travel.com, and I'm happy to help you. And there won't be any response from our team until Tuesday, because everyone is on vacation for the holiday. But please let me know how I can help you, and I look forward to your emails. Okay, guys?
Okay, thank you,
Thank you
Vickie.
very much.
You're
Approve
welcome.
all my TLN stuff.
Awesome. And have a blessed weekend, guys, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay,
right,
thank
bye-bye.
you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.